to our brothers and sisters' property. We got Watson with us. You can see Watson's in the back. He's sleeping currently. He's actually had a pretty big day today. He's been at Christy's work, where he's going to have to get used to being a little bit more often since she's going to be taking him with him. He got to meet my parents, siblings, the kids. He got to have another interaction with Charlie, who's another dog who lives with my wife's parents. And now we're on our way to meet, they have 2 dogs?
Yes, 2 dogs, Lincoln and Willow.
He's going to meet 2 more dogs. So he has a pretty big day today. And we're hoping that kind of, one, helps him to be introduced to a little bit more people and dogs, but also kind of wears him out a little bit. Because this is kind of a recap video. We've had him now for almost a week. So tomorrow is going to be Sunday, which would mark us having him for a full week already. So today's Saturday, and we got him last Sunday. And I know there's probably other Samoyed owners out there. A lot of you are probably also either first timers like us, or you might be experienced. So if you're experienced Samoyed owners and you hear some of our problems and complaints, feel free to let us know some tips and tricks, all right? Because like I said, we're first-time dog owners. It's fun, but at the same time, it's pretty challenging. But we're definitely really happy about it still. We're very into it. We really love Watson. He's been bringing a lot of joy to us. So as a little recap, I've mentioned before on the first day, we just brought him. Lots of accidents in the house the first day. We gotta try to get him to be potty trained. And since then, he's actually been very good. Since then, I think there's been only a couple days where he ended up peeing a little bit in the house. But that's it. All other times, every time he goes to the bathroom, they've always been outdoors and outside. So that's actually really good. So he's catching on pretty quickly that potty is not in the house, it's outside. So that's a good thing. The other thing that we're kind of struggling a little bit more with is probably the whole crate training. He has his pillow in there, he has his toys in there, but we're still not sure what it is that he doesn't quite like about it. Maybe it's the isolation. He really likes attention. Samoyeds are known to be attention seekers. They need to have a lot of interaction, which is kind of what we're trying to do now, is trying to see if we can play with him a little more, get him to interact with others, and maybe the night will go a little bit better. He'll be fine just passing out in the crate. But some nights he's been pretty good. He'll sleep in the crate. He'll bark when he needs to go to the restroom. In the middle of the night, we'll take him out. First, we started off about every 2 hours would wake up. Now, actually, we've increased that to every 3 hours, because we take him out in 2 hours, and he doesn't need to use the restroom, he doesn't go, he doesn't do anything. Or 2 hours pass by, and he's actually still sound asleep, he's not barking, he's not whining. So we were able to increase that to 3 weeks. Not 3 weeks.
3 hours.
3 hours, every 3 hours, we'd wake up, and, he'd go outside, he'd use the restroom. So
last night he was pretty quiet.
Last night he was really quiet. Last night,
for most of the night.
For most of the night, I'll get to that. The first part of the night was a little rough, but then he was actually asleep and didn't bark for quite a few hours, actually.
From 1:30 to 7:30, he was in his crate, and he didn't want out.
Yeah, so about, around 6 hours?
Yes.
And, it was all good. But that's kind of, we're trying to make sure his meals are not super late, so he has time to use the restroom, and so that at night he doesn't have the issue of constantly needing to go. So we're kind of trying to keep his meals not super late. So I think right now his dinner time is 8:30, 9?
No, it's 7:30, 8 the latest.
7:30?
Yeah. So then it gives him a good 2 to 3 hours to use the restroom before bed.
That way he can get, most of it out of his system. So that's kind of been our gameplay recently. So with the whole crate training, the potty training's been going good. Crate training is going so-so. It's not terrible. You know, he'll go into his crate. Last night, what Christy just mentioned, last night was a little bit of an interesting situation because he's never been that crazy.
Yeah.
Last night, we got him in the crate and we were ready for bedtime.
Mm-hmm. We took him to the bathroom beforehand.
He was fine at first. Then in about an hour or so, he needed to use the restroom. I took him out. And then we put him back into the crate.
And that was 12:30. That's when we put it back in.
Yeah. And he was just barking and whining and barking. And, you know, since we're first-time owners, you know, we refer to the internet for advice and help. But the problem is everybody has different things to say. So you don't know, one thing could work for one dog, another thing might not work for, you know, the same dog, but for somebody else. And so others, you know, say you can't leave him unattended, you know, maybe there's something that he wants. Others say, you know, he's seeking attention, so you kind of have to ignore him for him to kind of die down.
And for most of the time that works.
Yeah, for the most part that works. We've actually tried that before, where we know that we just use the restroom. We know that, you know, he recently ate, you know, we played with him.
And he has toys in his crate too.
He would bark, so we kind of like, he's probably seeking attention. And so when we would ignore him, you know, maybe like 10, 15, 20 minutes max pass by, he actually calms down and he's good.
Even less than that.
Even less than that sometimes.
Whenever I have to leave for an hour or so, it's only like a couple of minutes and he's calm. He kind of knows that.
Yeah.
It's crate time.
Last night was what? Almost an hour he's been barking?
And yeah, we tried to calm him down, you know, try to pet him and tell him it's okay. And we did give him some attention because we thought maybe he was stressed out and everything. But he just wouldn't calm down no matter what. And that was really rough. That was a rough one.
Yeah, so we were kind of not quite sure what was the cause of that. Because the previous nights he didn't do that. But all of a sudden this night he did. So we're hoping that maybe it was just like a one-night thing. Same thing, what we're trying out now is we're really trying to get his energy out. Because we've also read that if you get all his energy out, he might be very tired and he will be even too tired to like bark. You know, so he just kind of relaxes, he'll sleep, and he'll be able to kind of, you know, he won't have that energy to just go off and start barking for an hour. So that's kind of the strategy there. So that's going pretty decently. We did have a little bit of an eating, not even issue, but we know right now that we're trying to feed him at 3 times a day. And it's perfectly normal. We're told that he might skip maybe like lunch. You know, so eventually the dog will end up eating twice a day. So probably in the morning and in the evening. He was fine, but then I know on Wednesday we had to take him to the vet. He had to get his second shot. The vet also gave us some other medication for different things that we might get to a little bit later. And then his eating kind of got a little bit different.
Yeah.
He wouldn't eat his food, or he wouldn't eat as much of his food.
He was supposed to eat 2 cups a day over the course of 3 meals. That's what the breeder told us. And I would split those 2 cups over the course of 3 meals. And he, for Wednesday and Thursday, at most would just eat a cup, maybe a cup and a fourth. And, you know, we tried to entice him in different ways and he didn't want it. And he also then would just want water so much.
He drinks, he wants a lot of water, but we're also
limiting him to it.
Limiting because we're told he's not allowed to have too much. So, but he constantly wants water, but he was eating less food.
Yeah. So we, since he's 12 pounds now, we've been giving him 12 ounces of water, and some days he wants like 14, maybe 16, but we don't give him more than that because that's too much for him.
And then he still asks for more.
Yeah, he does. He does.
So that's kind of, do I turn here?
Yeah.
Almost missed our turn. But anyway, but yesterday he actually ate very well.
Yeah.
Correct? Yeah. So
yes.
Yesterday he ate very well. today he kind of went again kind of weird, where he's not eating as much for some reason. So we're still trying to kind of understand that part. You know, if anybody's experienced with Samoyeds and know what
He's not acting sick. He's very active. He's very happy. He's jumping around, and he has a lot of energy. It's just he's not eating the 2 cups that we expected him to eat all of a sudden. But we were told maybe it has to do with the fact that there's no other puppies anymore to compete for food with. So he may not want to eat as much for that reason. Who knows?
Yeah.
Who knows?
But overall, I mean, we understand it's only been the first week. You know, he's not gonna magically be a perfectly good puppy with absolutely no issues. There's still other issues that we haven't talked about, you know, such as maybe like biting.
No.
You know, and
There is play
things.
biting, but there's nothing out of the
No, that's what I
ordinary.
mean. But I mean, he still bites, you know, our jeans or other stuff. And he kind of bites his own bed pillow rather than playing with the toys. So, but you know, that's something that we'll slowly get the hang of and go through. But I'm saying overall, the first week from day 1 to right now has actually been a lot of progress. You know, I think he understands we're his owners. We're trying to make sure that he doesn't hate us but like us. You know, also we're trying to make sure that he respects us and understands that we are the dominant, because Samoyeds like to be dominant. So far we've been trying to kind of balance everything out. Just wanted to give you a little recap of how our week has been. Yes, has its ups and downs, but so far the progress has been very positive. Positive, and we're excited to see how it's gonna keep changing and how he's gonna keep growing and learning. He's growing very fast. I left for work one day in the morning and I came back after work, and I swear he got bigger. Just after 8 hours, I'm pretty sure he got bigger. So we'll keep you updated. We'll keep posting more stuff if you follow on like Instagram and whatnot. So tag along and see the progress that we're making with him. And if you have questions about Samoyeds, or if you're experienced with Samoyeds, you know, always leave some comments and stuff that we can kind of address and look into. All right, guys. Well, you have a good one.